enemies as well. Does go for the big cutting beam. Just goes cutting through the feral druid. Does go for the hunt. Not a lot of health available. Bites. Oh, the blades though. Shiny waiting for all the blades to be in. Just needed himself a proper opener with all blades. Denied the rank, but still was able to get himself plenty of pressure. The opening is only 38%, but apparently it's enough to really put some pressure on these boys. He's up hard to hide. My man, hope he's doing good. Got himself a full dark pack. It's going to be dropping down an Infernal onto it. Shiny his little noggin. Got himself a quick fear. Trying not to get interrupted is going to be a quick kick to the fear. Doesn't matter. Just feed to the boys the bolts. One bolt, two bolt. With a Shadow Fear right after. Shadow Flame. Yeah, just needed a couple instant casts there. And he's got double Inferno. He can almost send those over at VNB immediately. Succubus catching the mid lane. Bolt. Oh, before this Fear connect, just goes in for a quick port. This is the fastest port in the West. That's a pretty decent bit of damage just kind of gone out of the window for Envy. He got himself in charge as it's going to be a Bonza Fell on top of him as well. Drink the fall for Cobra. Just trying to see if he can just let the passive damage rot him. Look at him, the little Infernal raining on top of Envy with the Succubus catching him really quickly. Chaos Bolt, got himself an Overlord. Reflectors up, it's going to be Fear into Cobra. Technically, good undead Rachel dot, I think. And that's put your trinkets on VR though. Between the undead Rachel and the trinket. Pretty sure at least it does. Stun, is that going to be over? One more bolt, one more bolt. Oh, he's at some super low. Envy! You need something right here. You need a heal. You need a heal or you need anything. Does pick up a little bit of a heal. He got himself lots of offensive power. Still instead is rolling for mad. May need something to keep himself alive here, but does go down. There's just a lot of damage out of the Fury Warrior, able to lock it down and just truck him down all the way through him. And that is rough though. That is rough of the opener. With a charge onto Cobra right after, and Cobra immediately trinket, immediately port. And we just tried to see if we can stay on him the best possible. Got a bit of a effect. Oh, a charge to try to see if he can intercept the port. But he's got him some mobility with a stun bolt to fall. And let's see if we get something for this one. Maybe a heal. Maybe he can pick up a heal off of one of the demons. No, doesn't even get a chance. Just a Chaos Mode, they're barreling down him. With his dub going to be up next. And subtle position around, not assassination. I wonder, that's actually... Technically, we did see a Sub-Rogue play against Cobra, and he did fine, but I think Assassination would have been a much easier spec. Just the bleeds and the constant rot pressure is going to make it easier, but now he's got to out in the open. Smoke up down, Inferno's to chase after him. Doesn't give him an easy way to reset. Does end up finding a way to catch him so a quick melt either way, though. So that is good for him. First aid is available. Unless Succubus catches you, it looks like Succubus does get a first hit with a Succubus CC immediately. Bonza fall down for Cobra. If he's in a good position. Mortal Trinket doesn't break the bond, but there is a wall out of Cobra. That is a huge defensive. Just could maybe go for another resetting. He does have vanishes. Reset it, come back in as soon as dark wall is gone, and it's actually gone right now. Next time you can go sound lock combo onto Cobra. That'd be massive. We just gotta find a way to avoid the CC from the bet. Maybe if he can catch us with a sap as it tries to go for an invis, that would be potentially a play. Eyes have been picked up, however, by the Warlock. He sees you. And now you should be aware that a Succubus is approaching in your direction. It is going to catch you out. There's just not much you can do. That slow from the Succubus can be kind of detrimental at times. Got himself an opener. Going out for Cobra. Try to wait until Succubus in a position. Looking for a CC. Does catch him. And Cobra just sees a good angle. Got himself the dot. Cancel doesn't connect. Diabolist does go through with an overload. Charging it around the corner. Big cleave does a non-insignificant damage from that thing. Get a shot to follow. The Succubus does him around. That's an opportunity for Cobra to actually take a decent bit of damage to the face for Tiz. This is huge. Shake it out for Cobra as he goes in for cheap shot. Warlock Hellstone doesn't heal nearly as much as he thought he would, but a bolt I think might secure himself a win. Stun as he goes in for a vanish.
Let's have some fun.
Oh, how are you alive? How are you alive? Wait, Cobra actually has like no health. Hold on, if you're quick enough, maybe stab the pet. First aid is available. Picking up a bunch of food. Jayhawk is now over there just saying hello, I think. I'm not really sure. Literally just like, hi. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, man. Sab down onto Cobra, sab down on the side foot. It's going to be Succubus. Most likely catching Tiz here for a second. It does. It does. Trinkets are going back up for the Rogue at the very least. Bolt one. With the Cloak of Shadows on the Infernal. That's actually kind of massive. I don't know if he just wants to stay in there. He does catch a meld. Hold on, you caught a meld, but this opportunity could be potentially just on top of Cobra the entire time. This could be huge. I don't think he stunned Cobra once actually, did he? Wait, there's a toxic lock? A toxic lock? Is Cobra toxic? Hold on a second. Is he though? I've never really had Cobra. At least I haven't seen him really being toxic to anybody yet. Unless maybe there's something he says in game. Or emo spamming? Who knows? Or you mean like just Warlocks are all toxic. And then it's like, yeah. But they're Warlocks are nice people. Their toxic trait is that they play Warlock. You know what I mean? Oh, good go by Tiz, but it's gonna be Warlock hustled by Cobra. Fear to follow. They have a double bolt. Single bolt with a chaos mother that is gonna do not insignificant damage. Those things hurt. That is gonna be vanished yet again, but Tiz still taking damage though. Cobra does get himself an angle. Blind to follow. Succubus should keep the rogue out from combat. Unless he gets an angle. Where's that thing? Where's the succubus? Did he kill the succubus? Did he get cleaned down by super technique? Where's that thing? I think actually. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see it, but he had a position with the waterfall. Stun, fear, double bolt. Single bolt is it. Oh, that single bolt does it. Ooh, baby, that single bolt does it. What is the Overlord? Just like trying to zero in on everything that's happening in the arenas. You see his full swap Sage. We'll have space. We'll have people rotate out as the matches go on. Yeah, we'll have plenty of bodies to join in and everything. Don't you worry. Is it recording? The Twitch. I have no idea if myself is recording. Hopefully it is. I'm assuming it is. Tiz trying to see if he can have himself another go. A bit of a rematch versus Cobra. Got himself a big bolt. Are we gonna double bolt him? Did you just meld that? Oh, the meld. Oh, that's sexy. You gotta love the melds though. You gotta love the proper meld, dude. Those are so good. Got himself a kidney shot onto Cobra. Trying to see if he built up a bit of damage with yet another cheap shot. Got us to be extended defensive on him. Dark back to the wall. Hey, that's huge. If just gonna get himself another reset. Does get himself a reset. Vanishes are available. He don't want to have blades. But as long as he has himself just a bit of a go and finds a way to deal with a succubus, he'll be fine. This is his opportunity, man. This is his chance. Cobra does get hit with a cheap shot. I think it's super the art, however, which is unfortunate. Ruination is with a fear to follow. Ruination didn't hit nearly as hard as a bolt, though, for some reason. Big bolt one, big bolt two. I think it's over. Oh, not for you, but it's going to be a clunk shot for Tiz. Got himself out of the way. Out of that situation. I was almost going to rhyme. I feel like I ended up rhyming a couple of things there. I didn't mean to. And I was about to rhyme someone with name Tiz. But the only word I could come up with is res. And then like the part of my brain that just caused me to be like, oh, that's cringe. Just activated like a spidey sense. I was like, I ain't gonna say it. I just ain't gonna say it. No, we almost had a cheap shot on it. That is unfortunate. That is so close. Mortal coil. Ooh, might be in a bit of a weird spot. Oh, what is that line of sight? That was so good. Oh, dude, you gotta love it. Mortal coil started to walk out, just like, immediate right hand turn. A sharp right turn right behind the tiger statue. Coffee literally had an incinerate queued up. I couldn't do it. You gotta love this. Tiz does get himself a bit of a reset dump. As a succubus is kind of trying to mosey over, trying to land a CC, but it's not quite able to. Maybe he could go for a kick. Oh, it does land it. Does give it an opportunity for him. Like, wait, bolt might be end. You gotta, as a warlock, you gotta love these bolts. As anybody else, you ain't happy with those bolts. My goodness. Rest in hell, he's back. Oh, he's not next though. It looks like Chicken Stick is gonna be next. I love the name Chicken Stick. This guy, dude. This guy right here. I love this guy, dude. Love this guy. I was switching rogue body completely. Stun, ultra cold, but it does drop down Infernal. Bolt, fast bolt. Oh, it does get the spear. Mortar coil. Does he have another bolt to follow? Shadow Fury instead. Technically a big burst out for Chicken though. Guy having to go for a big defensive charge onto Cobra. Does he have any healing whatsoever? Giving us a barely alive though. Not really recovering that much health, but at least that rage does help dampen some of the damage he's taking. A couple of bloodthirsts from these pets will also be a little bit helpful. The fact that his avatar as well as Reckless is rolling, that was going to be the most amount of damage he's ever got. And he's just not going to be seeing that big damage for quite a while now. With the succubus catching him. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Bolt right after all. That is a lot of damage. Warriors, man. Not having it easy right now. Does go for a shotgun for a second. Cobra trying to see if he can end him. Just sees a couple of cows. Soulfire. Oh, downtown. Does he get shot of burns? Trying to see if he can end him, but Chicken Stick just able to barely escape. As long as there's no bolt, I think. Oh, as long as there's no bolt, normally you just survive it, but that Bonzafell was dirty. Actually, filthy. Filthy. Rest in hell. Trying to see if he can shake up the meta here a little bit by pressing meta and then shake up the brains of Cobra here. Into one bolt while wall is up. Sigil of Fear is out. The Pit Lord does do quite a decent bit of damage. I think there was a blur available though. Try to see if we can get himself a bit of damage versus Cobra. Does go for. We're gonna try to see how this arena works out. We've got some weird mixed experiences with this one. Most of that Tiger Pillar gets a little long on one side. Usually gives some classes, certain classes, a bit of an advantage. It's kind of like a weird one. So we'll see how this goes. Spear down into Cobra. Try to see if he can get himself out. The gate does break the spear, leaping in with a charge for Chicken Stick, using both mobility, charge and leap. Might put him in a weird spot, but maybe it'll be okay. Trinket, but Immortal Coil immediately connects with a shot if you're after. Does pop defensive stance. Bonzafell is not going to feel good, but he still has Avatar. Still got that wreck. Yeah, having a charge and a leap at the same time. I know I do it all the time with my warrior for PvE, and every time I'm like, we should wouldn't do that. You just got to use one or the other. Because there would have been nice to just be able to charge back into the guy. Yeah, got to throw a full Chaos Bolt around the corner. That's going to do a bit of damage. Storm Bolt onto Cobra. Does he have a charge? Does he have a port? The Chicken Stick does technically, he's finally on top of the guy. Can technically build up a bit of damage. Does have a effect for a second. Blaze Storm for random moment though. Hold on a second. Oh, that is a lot of damage on the Warlock either way. That is rough. Definitely rough. That is going to be more pets joining in. The Shiny trying to see if he can get himself a proper go here. Big port out for Cobra. Gateway not going to be usable yet. And the second is actually not going to be that great against a Feral either. You cannot go for Seduce on a while you're in kitty form. You can only work in humanoid forms like Blinken form or Night Elf form. Are you a Night Elf? I think you are a Night Elf. Yes, you are an adult. I just wanted to, I was kind of going off of a hunt, but then I looked at a racial and it's like, oh, Meld, yeah. And that kind of gives it away. Yo, dude, how long do you think it's going to be until you can just pick your racials for PvP, where everybody has access to Meld? You know what I mean? They'll just say, rename it something else instead. Make it like a separate PvP talent. PvP racial. So you can just play whatever you like, but then have like something viable and usable. As Shiny trying to see if it gives him maybe potentially a bit of a reposition behind the pillar. Got a couple of regrowths. The pet's slapping you around. Second miss you see around the corner. Cobra trying to see if he can get himself a bit of the reset behind the pillar with a Hellstone. And Shiny is looking for that recovery. Succubus does back away. Maybe I can get back in combat. It does see the Feral. Wait, how does it see the Feral? It like knows where he's at. It knows where the cat is at. It has more or less a pretty good like idea at the very least. I don't know if Cobra realized it or not, but it was literally along the Feral's tail while he was in prowl, while he was in stealth. Unless it literally saw him, which I guess is a possibility. Stun on Shiny, does get a Bonzafell. Is it going to be another Mortal Cold with a Bolt? One, Kefir, right after. Oh, your health! This is one more global. Fast Bolt! He's got a Fast Bolt ready to go. It's going to be the fastest Bolt in the West. Yeah, there goes, dude. The big pillar. That's what I'm saying. Look at that recovery for Shiny. They got himself lots of mobility. Can evade the Warlock pretty easily. Having the pillar be like long on one side does give certain mobility classes a little bit of an advantage, which is why we normally don't run this arena nearly as often. But for Shiny, look at that. He's got himself lots of recovery behind the pillar. Lots of opportunity to catch it for a reset. For Cobra, unless he goes in for a port, he's going to be in a weird spot. Shiny trying to see if he can reposition. It's going to be something good for Cobra, however. That's when the Succubus catching him. Oh, yeah, catching himself while you trying to cast his spell or two. Big Soulfire with a Mortal Coil right after. Chaos Bolt to follow. Fear right after. Another Bolt. Another Bolt. And another one. And another one. I think you just see the Shadow Fury, right? Shadow Burn? Yeah, it's over. Ah, that is so rough. That is so rough, dude. Leo trying to see if he can just waddle over to Cobra. He does hang out next to him while he's got poured up and everything. He's trying to see if he can waddle towards a gateway, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Dude, slow to through the range, does the good back in. He's going to start off a new port. And Leo's immediately going to cancel that Remorseless so he can at least be on the move. Does technically have access to a stun. Wall out for Cobra, still gets stunned either way. And I think the Riders in the burst for Leo is still going to be plenty more to call just to survive. That does give you just a little bit of help to work with. Blind. Good to have yourself a proper go here. Again, I'm switching the wrong target completely. Stun. That is a trick out of Rest in Hell. Yeah, I don't think the Rogue is going to be able to follow up though. Cobra immediately dropping down a Portal Launch to Rest in Hell. Does not want to give this man any chance to recover whatsoever. For Rest, he's going to have to use the rest of his cooldown just to see what the Cobra. Maybe go for a stun. Stun to actually shockwave both the pet as well as Cobra. Sakuma still catching the CC on you. Bolt to follow Shadow Fury right after. Does not have an out of the more. It's going to be up to the Bolt. May need to go for Immune. Immune's Bolt mid-air. May need to break the bonds of Fell while Immune is up though. And does do just that. Try to see if he can rush over towards Cobra with a bit of an interrupt. Wait, is the interrupt can you no longer? I thought whenever you have Nether Ward up that reflects all spells, interrupt for Demon Hunters was a spell for like the longest. Did it change it? Is it no longer a spell?